long before horror movies, before warning labels, before parents said, "Don't talk to strangers." People had stories. A man who made children vanish with music, 2 children with skin the color of moss who came from nowhere, and a voice in the forest that only a child could hear. Tonight, we open 3 forgotten warnings, stories so strange they weren't kept behind a book. They were kept behind a locked door. Every story in here was once used to teach children something, to protect them, but over hundreds of years, the meaning got buried under the fear. Tonight, we are opening 3 of the strangest ones ever recorded: the Pied Piper of Hamelin, the Green Children of Woolpit, and the Earl King. According to the legend, this story takes place in the German town of Hamelin in the year 1284. It was an ordinary town until the rats came. Not a few rats, thousands of them. They ate the grain. They ate the food stores. They ran across beds at night. The people of Hamelin tried everything: traps, poison, prayers. Nothing worked. Then, one day, a stranger walked through the town gate. He wore a coat of many colors, which is why people later called him the Pied Piper. He carried a flute, and he made the townspeople an offer.
I can take your rats away for a price.
The town agreed. Desperate people agree to strange things. The piper raised his flute to his lips and played. One by one, then by the hundreds, the rats came out of the buildings. They followed the music through the streets, out of the town, and down to the river. According to the legend, every single rat drowned. The town celebrated. The rats were gone. But when the piper returned for his payment, the town refused.
The rats are dead. Why should we pay a street musician?
The piper said nothing. He simply turned and walked away. For weeks, nothing happened. The town thought the matter was over. Then came the day of Saints John and Paul. While the adults were at church, the piper returned. He stood in the street outside the town, and this time, he played a different song. According to the legend, 130 children left their homes and followed him. They walked through the streets, out of the town gate, and into the hills, and they were never seen again. When the parents came home from church, the streets were empty. Now, here is the strange part. This isn't just a fairy tale invented for fun. The town of Hamelin actually has historical records mentioning this event. A stained glass window in the town's church, made not long after, showed the piper leading children away. The town even started counting its calendar years from the day the children left. Historians don't agree on what really happened. Some say it could refer to a plague. Some say it could be about children leaving the town to settle new land far away. Some say it's a folk memory of something far darker that no one fully recorded. One theory suggests it was never about rats or flutes at all, that those details were added later, and the real warning was simpler. Broken promises always come back to collect their debt. But the legend never tells us where the children went, only that the music stopped, and they didn't come back. Our next story comes from England, sometime in the 12th century, in a village called Woolpit. According to the legend, during the harvest season, farmers found 2 children standing near the wolf pits at the edge of the village, a boy and a girl, and these were not ordinary children. Their skin was green. They wore clothes made of a strange material no one recognized. They spoke a language that no villager understood. And when the villagers brought them food, the children refused to eat any of it. The villagers took the children in, hoping they would adapt. The boy, weaker and frightened, grew sicker over time. According to the legend, he eventually died. But the girl survived. Some versions of the story say that once she was finally given beans, one of the only foods she would accept, she began to grow stronger. Slowly, her skin lost its green color. Over the months and years, she learned the local language, and when she finally could speak clearly, she told the villagers where she came from. She said she and her brother were from a place called St. Martin's Land. A land, she said, with no sun, only a soft twilight, always. She said everything there was tinted green, and that across a wide river you could see a glowing land of light. But no one from her home had ever crossed it. She said she and her brother had been tending their father's sheep when they heard a loud sound, like bells. They followed it into a cave. When they came out the other side, they were standing in the fields of Woolpit, in the bright sun, completely lost. Now, this is where the story splits into possibilities. Some historians believe this may be a folk memory of two lost or orphaned immigrant children, possibly from Flanders, whose unfamiliar clothing and pale, malnourished skin appeared green to villagers and whose foreign language was simply misunderstood. Some say it could be a case of a rare blood condition that can cause a green tint to the skin, which would explain why the girl's color faded once she was properly fed. And some people believe it the way it was first told, that these two children truly came from somewhere else, somewhere we don't have a name for. What we do know is this. This story was written down by two separate medieval chroniclers, independently, around the same time. That's part of why it has survived for almost 900 years. The girl reportedly grew up, was baptized, and lived the rest of her life in England. But she never saw her brother again, and she never saw St. Martin's Land again either. Two strange children. One who couldn't survive in our world, but our next story is darker still. Because this time, the warning isn't about strangers coming to us. It's about a child being called away. This last story comes from Old German and Scandinavian folklore, and it was made famous by a poem written in the 18th century. But the fear inside it is much older than that. According to the legend, a father is riding home through the forest at night, his young son held close in his arms. The boy is sick with fever. The father rides fast, trying to get the boy home to safety, but in the dark of the trees, the boy sees something his father cannot.
Father, do you not see the Earl King? The Earl King with his crown and train?
My son, it is only a streak of mist.
But the boy hears a voice that speaks gently, almost kindly.
Come with me, dear child. I will play such games with you. There are flowers of every color on the shore. My daughters will sing you to sleep.
The father tells his son it is only the wind in the dry leaves. He rides faster, but the voice does not stop. It grows closer, more insistent.
My daughters wait for you in the shadows. They will rock you. They will dance with you. They will sing you to sleep.
Father, Father, Do you not see them there? The Earl King's daughters, in that dark place.
My son, I see it clearly. It is only the old gray willow trees.
The boy clings to his father, shaking.
Father, father, he is touching me now. The Earl King has hurt me.
Now, the father is afraid too. He rides as fast as the horse can carry them, the wind tearing past, the boy growing quieter and quieter in his arms. He finally reaches his home. He carries his son inside, desperate, breathless. But according to the legend, the child was already gone. This story was never meant to be about a monster in the woods. Some say it's about fever and delirium, a child's fear given a voice. Some say it's a warning about sickness, moving faster than we can outrun it. And some say it's about something simpler and sadder, that children sometimes sense danger long before adults are willing to believe them. The forest never explains itself. It only calls. 3 stories, 3 warnings. One about a town that broke a promise and paid for it in silence. One about 2 strangers who came from somewhere we will never fully understand. And one about a child who heard a voice that no adult around him could hear. Maybe these stories were not made to scare children. Maybe they were made because adults were scared too. Which story should I open next from the warning book? Tell me in the comments, and I'll pick the next one to tell.